Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hey, guys.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, Dow?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. And happy July 4th Eve to all of the Yankees in the audience. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is well. First off, thank you, Timothy Sealbeck. Dr. Pepper money, so you can be as stress-free as possible. Thank you so much. Yeah, a tall person asked if I was doing ads tonight, and I'm declining again, just because I'll stress out over the course of my day off tomorrow if that's to work on. And I know that seems kind of, I'm not pussying out, guys. It's just how my brain works, and I just have been much better off lately, not having put that much more anxiety onto myself over the course of things. But anyway, that aside, Monkey, Satsu, how are you guys doing? How are you, Satsu?
I'm pretty good. Nothing really bad happened today, so it was a good day. Oh,
right.
No, wait, that's incorrect. Nothing bad happened, but when I was trying to do my videos earlier, 3 times my power went out and fucking erased everything I did. So I said, fuck it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I just said, fuck it. I'll upload something tomorrow.
All right. How are you, Monkey?
I'm having a pretty decent day.
RJ Bansma says, Lord of Punishment, what punishment are you going to give me? Listen to you and Ranting Monkey sing like you're drunk. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, RJ, because we have a birthday already.
We do indeed.
We do. It's Willow's birthday, who is Lucky Pop-Tart's oldest daughter. And Willow has just turned 17 today.
I can't do this dirty because Willow is a sweetheart and way too young for that. So let me get the right voice for this.
Okay, what's your right?
Willow, are you out there, dear? This one's for you.
This is the daddy voice.
And 2. Happy birthday to you.
A lot of phlegm in that one.
Happy birthday to
Dr. Paper Flipper.
Happy birthday, dear Willow.
You gonna swallow that?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And there was no phlegm involved in that. So just
I hope you had a great birthday, Willow.
It sounded very phlegmy.
I don't know. It's just a trick of the throat.
Ladies must love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, happy birthday, Willow. Also, I wanted to mention I had requested that I signal boost, for lack of a better phrase, a fundraiser going on. There is a 14-year-old girl named Eliza Leyland, and she is trying to raise money for a seizure alert dog. She suffers from seizures, and these have apparently become very debilitating over the last little while. And in order to sort of help her and the people around her know when she's having a problem, when sometimes she can't express that herself, they're raising money for a seizure alert dog, which I think I've seen a video on such things before, and I guess it's a very specialized thing. So they're not cheap. But I posted a link to the fundraiser in the chat, in the description. And so far, they're about just over halfway to their goal. They were trying to raise 17,000. They're just over 10 at this point.
Crap.
So this is what I don't know about a seizure alert dogs, if they actually cost 17,000. I did do some research to make sure this wasn't something shady. No offense intended, but yeah, it seems legit, and it's from a nonprofit fundraiser site that does this kind of thing all the time. So, if you are so inclined, links in the chat, and give it a shot if you feel so. But Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button if you have not already, and many of you have not. At least 2/3 of you have not. And thank you, Zenith. Miss me? Also new avatar. Zenith!
Nice to see you, Zenith.
Yeah, long time no see. Is that a Yoshi? That is a Yoshi with a tongue sticking out. I guess that's all Yoshi really does, though. So, what else? Anything else to cover before we? Oh yeah, you're doing 7 Days to Die tonight, right? Rather than Wednesday.
Yes.
All together now.
Since tomorrow's the holiday, the 7 Days to Die open stream server is tonight, guys. Sorry we didn't give you more warning about it. We just figured that out yesterday. So
I'm being told the link doesn't work. Let me make sure that I put the link in there correctly. Works for me. So I don't know. I opened it up in a separate tab and there it was.
Make sure you guys get rid of the space. Like
backspace.
Yeah, there might be an invisible space there, but it's in the description. So it worked for me when I just clicked on it, so I don't know. Otherwise, oh yes, I forgot. By the way, Dr. Pepper, the sweet, sweet taste, made from a prune to drink on the moon.
Nasty.
And also to annoy Satsu, because that's also fun.
Nasty.
Right, now that I have my news reading beverage ready, let's get on with the schnuzz. So I have two stories that are kind of related to one another. One that kind of broke just before we went on the air, some political drama. And a separate story that I was going to do an MSS News thing on, but I didn't have reason to connect it to something current until now. So Scott Pruitt, the EPA director, apparently asked Donald Trump to replace Jeff Sessions with him as Attorney General.
Before you get to... Oh, okay.
Thank you, Surfing Moose. Scribe, the page is basically boring, but the Warriors references for me were the best parts. The obvious 3 bottles and the BG music has a riff or two from the Atmo music from the Warriors. Yeah, I saw the 3 bottles thing too, and I thought, if he says Luke Cage come out and play Yay, I was going to probably give it a thumbs up, at least for that moment. But yeah, this season, I'm probably going to do a stream after I finish the season, just ranting about it a bit, because Marvel Netflix is screwing the pooch. Jessica Jones season 2 and now Luke Cage season 2. In my opinion, not too great. But we'll get to that another time. Anyway, Scott Pruitt went to Trump and asked him to kick Sessions out and put him in the job of Attorney General, which is odd. Embattled Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Scott Pruitt directly appealed to President Donald Trump this spring to fire Attorney General Jeff Sessions and let him run the Department of Justice instead, according to 3 people familiar with the proposal. In an Oval Office conversation with Trump, it's Leak City again. Nothing's sacred over there. Pruitt offered to temporarily replace Sessions for 210 days under the Vacancies Reform Act, telling the president he would return to Oklahoma afterward to run for office, with the attorney general job under his resume, of course. Pruitt's direct appeal to the president has not been reported previously. Well, duh. Advisors quickly shot down the proposal, but it came at a time when Trump's frustrations with Sessions over his decision to recuse himself from overseeing the Russia investigation had resurfaced. Trump has complained loudly and publicly about the recusal for the last 14 months and floated replacing Sessions with Pruitt as recently as April. The Federal Vacancies Reform Act of 1998 gives the president the authority to temporarily fill a vacancy at a federal agency if the official, quote, dies, resigns, or is otherwise unable to perform the functions and duties of the office, unquote. The White House did not respond to requests to comment. And thank you, Attack Alpaca. Scribe is going to become a diabetic just to annoy Satsu. Yes, that is my plan. That is my plan. It's like, Satsu, this is your fault. My toes have fallen off.
Sorry about that. Yeah, there's a Squishy has the window open, so the planes are especially loud, so I have to mute myself.
Oh, I thought you were apologizing for my toes falling off. Never mind.
No, fuck your toes. I was talking about them.
Fuck your toes. So that's a little bit of backroom politicking and power politicking taking place, especially with a guy who isn't that popular in the job he already has to then put him in the Attorney General's position. But,
can we call that back room anymore in this?
Nah, not really. It's more like leak room. But in a related story, simply because it deals with Scott Pruitt, and I was going to do this as MSS News, but again, the whole Jeff Sessions thing came up. Someone has practiced the waters doctrine today, or at least within the last 24 hours. Woman confronts Scott Pruitt at a restaurant and urges him to resign. A woman confronted Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Scott Pruitt at a Washington restaurant on Monday and urged him to, quote, resign before your scandals push you out, unquote. Kristen Mink was having lunch with her son when she noticed Pruitt with a colleague at Teism in Penn Quarter and decided to confront him, child in tow. In a video of the encounter, of course, Mink cites Pruitt's, quote, slashing strong fuel standards for cars and trucks for the benefit of big corporations, unquote, and his, quote, paying about $50 a night to stay in a DC condo that's connected to an energy lobbying firm while approving their dirty sands pipeline, unquote, as reasons for him to resign. So this was just a coincidence. She happened to be there when he was there and brought up these particular issues.
And she happened to know all of these right off the top of her head.
Right. Yeah. The Environmental Protection Agency, because, so many average Americans on the details of the Environmental Protection Agency, first off, and Scott Pruitt in specific.
Yeah.
Okay, I totally believe this. Quote.
And know what he looks like. Yeah. Fuck off.
Nobody looks like, knows. Yeah. Quote, we deserve to have somebody at the EPA who actually does protect our environment, somebody who believes in climate change and takes it seriously for the benefit of all of us, including our children, Mink tells Pruitt in the video.
You mean the child that she brought specifically for this situation?
Yeah, and this was not a prepared speech, of course.
Of course not.
This is back to the article. The ethical questions facing the embattled EPA chief have continued to mount in recent days, with Pruitt aides detailing to members of Congress how he enlisted them for personal errands, and a former EPA official who is expected to testify before Congress, saying Pruitt used a secret calendar and omitted certain calls and meetings from the public calendar. Fuck CNN! Jesus Christ. You want to use some, God, run-on sentences. I hate fucking run-on sentences. If I run out of breath in my own head reading it to myself, you've got a problem. Ay, caramba. Okay. A review of EPA documents by CNN found discrepancies between Pruitt's official calendar and other records. The House Oversight Committee is investigating allegations of misuse of government funds. Are you going to mention Maxine Waters in this? No. No, you're not. Interesting. Okay. Well, there you go. Right. Yeah, the Waters Doctrine in progress. I've dubbed it the Waters Doctrine because I haven't heard anybody else use that phrase yet. So I'm sure that will change everything. And I'm sure she was just happened to be in the restaurant with him. It was a complete coincidence. She just noticed him, just happened to have it filmed and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Complete coincidence.
Yeah, not planned. He wasn't being stalked. This is the thing. Okay, if she's telling the truth, then she's just a complete EPA nerd and happened to see him and just have all this stuff in her mind, carrying her kid while she's being filmed, confronting him. Or they were actively stalking the guy to find a place they could talk to him at.
Yeah.
Either way. Let's see. Moving on to other important people doing shady things. Barnes & Noble fires its CEO for violating company policy.
Oh, who'd he do?
Well, you see, no, they don't say, but I'm wondering, because we saw something similar with Intel just, a week or two ago. He was fired for violating company policy by having a relationship with a coworker.
Mm-hmm.
He was reading the title of a book, and it had Negro in it. and he got fired.
Let's see. The CEO of Barnes & Noble has been fired for unspecified violation of company policy. CEO Demos Parneros. Demos. Okay. Oh, and thank you, James Colley. I support grammar Nazism. All right. Demos Parneros will not be paid severance and will be removed from the board immediately, the bookstore chain said late Tuesday.
Damn.
Excuse me. Barnes & Noble said the board was advised by a law firm in deciding to fire Parneros. The company did not announce a reason for the firing. It said only that the CEO was not let go because of any disagreement about financial reporting, policies, or practices, or any potential fraud relating thereto. It was sexual. I bet you. He dated somebody, he harassed somebody, somebody filed a complaint against him, or he's dating in the company or something.
If it was anything, illegal, like something he did bad that way, they would have to report it because they're a publicly traded company.
Exactly. Yeah. So by saying there was not financial reporting policies or practices or any potential fraud relating thereto, they're saying he did not commit a crime per se, or at least not a financial one.
Yeah. But they're going to keep it quiet.
Yeah. The company also reaffirmed its profit guidance for the current fiscal year. Just so you know, we're firing our CEO, but we're really fine. We're okay. Don't sell our stock. Barnes & Noble said it would begin looking for a new CEO. In the meantime, a leadership group, including the chief financial officer, will handle the CEO's duties. Parneros, 56, joined the company as chief operating officer in late 2016 after a career at Staples. He was named CEO in April 2017. Barnes & Noble operates 630 stores in the United States and has 23,000 employees. It was one of the first traditional retailers to be hurt by the growth of Amazon. Sales have declined each of the last 5 years, and the company has lost money in 3 of those years. Yeah, brick and mortar bookstores are going the way of the dodo real quick. And I'm actually surprised that Barnes & Noble's actually still open at this stage of the game.
Which is sad, too, because I like bookstores. I like the smell of a bookstore.
Yeah, I like just going in and browsing. You know, people sort of have a reflexive notion to be quiet in there because it's kind of like a library in a way. And so it's a nice, sedate sort of place just to hang out for a little while and browse and look at comic books and not have to pay for them.
Delinquent scribe.
Well, you know, I'm a cheapskate. What can I tell you? If I can find out what happened in Spider-Man for the last 2 years in one paperback collection, sitting in a bookstore for half an hour and not have to pay for it. Let's see. And the only other story that I pulled up, because this jumped out at me. Second, I want to reiterate, second Philippine mayor shot dead in 2 days.
Jesus.
A second town mayor in the Philippines has been shot and killed by an unknown assailant a day after one was assassinated by a sniper in a brazen daylight attack. Mayor Ferdinand Bote of the town of General Tinio in Nueva Ecija, I don't know how to say this stuff, province, was gunned down by a motorcycle-riding suspect in nearby Cabanatuan City on Tuesday afternoon. Bote appears to have been the victim of a drive-by shooting in which he was struck multiple times while riding in his beige Toyota Fortuner? Is that the name of a car? Fortuner? Fortuner.
Sure.
Never heard of it. Oh, okay, I don't know what they're naming cars now. They ran out of animals, I guess, according to the police report. Bote was declared dead on arrival at MV Gallego Hospital and had an investigation has been launched. Quote, "We assure everyone that we would discharge the state obligation for every murder. We will spare no effort in getting to the bottom of this latest violent crime," presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said. The killing comes just 24 hours after Tanawan City Mayor Antonio Halili was killed by a single shot to the chest while attending a flag-raising ceremony. Halili was a controversial ally of President Rodrigo Duterte, who gained notoriety for his policy of parading people arrested for drug offenses. It was revealed Monday that Halili had been stripped of his authority over local police in October 2017 on an order from the Department of the Interior, according to Police Chief Superintendent Renato Mercado. He also appeared to have been placed on a narco list, a list of people allegedly associated with the drug trade by the National Police Commission. But according to CNN Philippines, the administration had not been provided with incorrect information. What? The administration had, okay. I give up. It is unclear if the 2 deaths are linked. Okay, but it's just like mayors in Philippines. Just be careful.
I have a story.
Do you? Is it a Grand Monkey story?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
This is a story that comes to us from the New York Post.
Ooh. Fancy.
Wife says she sliced off cheating husband's penis, then threw it out the window.
Monkey, this is a story from the 90s. That's Lorena Bobbitt.
Sadly, no. Oh. This is from today. A jealous wife has been arrested after allegedly hacking off her husband's penis Tuesday with a 12-inch long carving knife. Karuna Sanusan, 24, carried out the bloody attack on 40-year-old Siripan after discovering he was having an affair, she told police. She said she then hurled his severed manhood out the bedroom window, leaving Siri Pan withering and screaming in agony in a pool of his own blood. Neighbors heard... Oh, wait, it gets better. Neighbors heard the howls of pain and called the police, who, arriving at the couple's home in... I can't say that. This was in Thailand, apparently. Officers recovered the penis and put it in a cooler for surgeons to try to reattach, but medics said that it would not be possible.
Well,
let's hear her telling of it because it's great. She said, "Me and my husband worked together selling organic vegetables at a stall. Before this happened, I became suspicious he was having an affair. I always saw him flirting with a lot of girls, and I had an idea of what he was doing. Then I found out he was secretly going with other women. This made me very angry. I was full of anger and couldn't relax. I was so angry inside." She added, "I aroused him in the morning while he was absent-minded, then used the knife to cut off his penis and threw it out the window."
Oh my God.
Jesus.
I mean, look, don't cheat on your girl, but god damn, bitch.
Don't cut off a penis.
Just leave them.
And they can't say that it wasn't premeditated.
No, she didn't have a quote from this part, but they said that she planned this out and she told them that. Yeah. Got him aroused and then whacked off his wiener. She cut off his tail with a carving knife.
She whacked him off and then hacked it off.
Oh!
Yikes.
There's a related story. Let's see where this one's from.
Another penis being cut off?
No. This one's Cobb fire. Woman burns down home because man went to see another woman.
Oh, is that isn't that Left Eye from
TLC?
Yeah, but TLC didn't she burn down her boyfriend's house, like his mansion or whatever? Was that Left Eye?
Hers was an accident.
Was it? Okay, I thought
she was trying to burn just like him or some shit, and she accidentally burned down the whole house, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Okay.
A woman in Cobb County was in Cobb County Jail Tuesday morning for allegedly burning down a house because a man went to see another woman. Ernica Lowe, 32, faces a felony arson count after Cobb fire investigators say she lit the Marietta home on fire on June 18th. Fire department investigation report doesn't indicate how she started the blaze, but it does give an explanation as to why. Lowe was at 2404 Red Barn Road with the stepson of the homeowner, according to the fire report. She was described in the report as the stepson's female companion.
Okay.
The man at some point left to go see another, quote, female companion. Lowe did not like that. She called him and told him to come back home or something was going to happen. While on the phone with him, fire investigators heard her say she did it because he went to see another woman. Asked her why she would do something like that. Yeah, bitch burned down the home because he went. They're not even like married. Yeah, burned down his home. Good job.
Great.
Those are two stories, guys, to remind you not to stick your dick in crazy this 4th of July.
Yeesh.
Yeah, thank you. Jesse said she was burning shoes is what Left Eye did. And
that's what it was.
The house caught fire.
Yeah. The things I remember, if only I could use my memory for more productive and profitable things than
indeed.
Silly trivia such as that in movies and things. But oh well. Do we have any other stories, or shall we move on?
I don't have any more stories, and I think that's a good thing with where this was headed.
Yeah.
Somebody was going to die at this point.
Let me make sure nothing has broken in the news department since then. Nope. We've still got Scott Pruitt and all that fun stuff.
Can you imagine what the news would look like if a dude chopped off a woman's titty because she cheated on him?
Oh, yeah. These are just like, oh, that happened. That's kind of fucked up. And that would be a fucking national incident. Like, it would be
proof that the patriarchy is horrible.
Yeah, and fucking toxic masculinity. There'd be a parade or some shit or some type of.
Well, I have to be cynical enough to wonder, and I was wondering this earlier today, that story about the guy who stabbed that birthday party.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if he had been a white man stabbing immigrant children and things, just what kind of tornado there would be going on right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but because he's got dreadlocks and he's a black guy from LA, nobody cares.
Remember when Sharon Osbourne did it? Did what?
Oh, well, Sharon Osbourne, I remember there was she was a guest on The View or something, and they were talking about a story of a woman cutting off a guy's dick and how she took it and threw it into the garbage disposal.
Mm.
And she and the rest of the girls and the ladies in the audience and everything started laughing at that because they thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was on The View, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Treat that button like your Ike Turner.
Oh Jesus.
Oh wow.
Johnny, I don't know how many people are old enough to get that reference. For those of you who don't know, Ike Turner used to beat the shit out of Tina Turner.
Yeah. Well then, guys, we'll move on to MSS News. If you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. We will look at as many as we can, even though we might not look at them all because we usually don't have time to. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for correcting your spelling. I do appreciate that. That was unnecessary. I get it. Even I, from time to time, will use the your instead of your. Usually I correct it before I send the text, though, so that's just me.
I hate when I catch myself doing that on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter or anywhere else when I'm typing and I do something stupid like that, it ticks me off. So the first one comes from Adeladdle, ATL. Okay, no, go away, ad. Okay. Woman texts manager that she can't make it to work because her son is on life support, and her response gets her fired.
The lady's response?
That's what I'm wondering. This is worded very odd because they didn't say because in the title, they just used cause. Make it to work cause her son is on life support. So I don't know. This is written by Gerda Lukosi. I think this might be translated or something. I can't tell. But anyway, I'm going to read. I'll read it. When a loved one is seriously ill, you would expect a degree of sympathy and understanding from your workplace, wouldn't you? Sure, your job is important, but nobody would expect you to put it ahead of the lives of your family. Spare a thought for Crystal Reynolds Fisher of Albion, Michigan. Her 18-year-old son fell seriously ill with a suspected case of sepsis, so she naturally rushed immediately to the hospital. He was put on life support, and Crystal, terrified of losing her son, texted her boss at Folk Oil gas station to explain why she wouldn't be coming in to work for a few days. I think it's fair to say that she didn't get the response that she was expecting. Now, we don't know the other side of the story. For all we know, Crystal may have had previous issues with her manager, but that does not excuse the cold and heartless nature of the treatment she received. Crystal posted the text message exchange on Facebook, and it soon went viral, with over 71,000 shares and counting. People expressed their support for Crystal and prayers for her son while calling for Folk Oil to address the situation with Dawn, the callous manager. What was the exchange exactly? Okay. So my son is on life support, and I tell my boss 48 hours before I am to work again that I will not be able to work until my son is off life support, and this is what she tells me. Hi, Dawn. So this is the actual conversation from the mother to the manager. Hi, and Dawn is the manager. Hi, Dawn. This is Crystal. I'm just letting you know that my son is still on life support, so until he is out of the bad, I will not be able to make it to work. I can let you know as he starts to get better, so that way I can return to work with no problems. The manager responds, that isn't how we do things, so I'll accept that you're quitting. Crystal says, okay, so how do we do things when my child is on life support? I never said I was quitting, so I take it that you're firing me? If you can't come to work, that's you quitting. No, that's not. I am letting you know I can't come to work due to my child's life on the line. I'm letting you know ahead of time. I will not get into with you on here, but I've been more than accommodating during this, allowing schedule changes and such. I'm reading it as it's written, guys. There is no reason you can't work, and I will not tolerate drama. End of conversation. If you aren't there to work your shift tomorrow, then I take it as you've quit. okay, this is not an eye doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment. This is my child's life we're talking about. He is on life support. Okay, I'll be in contact with corporate. I never quit my job. And you can't work cause, question mark, too much drama. Would you be able to go to work and function if your child was on life support? I don't know if I'm coming or going, and I expect me to work. Yeah. Yes, I would. I still have bills to pay and something to keep me busy and occupied. We don't just get to come and go as we please at Folk Oil. I have tomorrow and Monday covered. Your son is in the best place he can be. I have a store to run, and that's my focus. Wow. Yeah. That's some Ebenezer Scrooge level shit right there.
Here, the fucked up part is, like, the boss, like, she's not necessarily incorrect, but that is some asshole shit to say.
It depends. There is still the Family Medical Leave Act that if she's been at this job for more than, what is it? Do you have to be there a year, 6 months, a year, something like that, that would cover her?
Yeah.
And that as a boss would be something, hey, you need to get this filled out so that you're covered.
Yeah, or something. But that's
not, God, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. There might be a lawsuit in there, and I have a feeling that corporate's not going to look kindly upon that kind of PR. So,
did you skip down?
Sorry, what?
Did you skip part of the story there? Responding to public pressure, Folk Oil issued this press release.
Oh, okay.
We investigated and found that the situation was handled improperly and without compassion that we value as a company. For that, we are very sorry. As a result of this finding, we took quick action, and that manager is no longer employed with PS Food Mart. We also reaffirmed to our employee that she will be able to take all the time off that she needs during this difficult period. We'd like to thank the public for their concern.
Why did that not show up on my version of the story?
I don't know. Which one did you read?
The one from boardpanda.com?
Yeah, it's in there. It's the 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down.
Oh, okay. I got to the point where they started talking about the. Okay, I skipped down to the conversation because I wanted to know what they said, and I missed that. That's what I skipped. Okay, my bad.
So yeah, anyway. You were right though. They did not take it kindly.
Yeah, did not take it well. Okay, moving on. That was a long one there. Let's see. What is this a Florida? Oh, here we go. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Florida woman caught pleasuring stepfather at Cape Canaveral Park.
Okay.
What?
A Florida woman.
Oh my God, those are attractive.
A Florida woman is in jail after deputies say she was pleasuring her stepfather in public on a park bench in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Just before 9 p.m. on Saturday, June 30th, 2018, Brevard County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of a woman performing oral sex on a man in public at Manatee Park. According to police reports, the deputy passed 3 families and small children while walking up to the north side of the boardwalk at the park. That's when the deputy observed 65-year-old Robert Speece of Cape Canaveral sitting on a bench with his belt undone, shorts unzipped, and penis exposed, while 39-year-old Mandy Falconer of Cocoa sat on the ground in front of Speece with her hands on his penis.
Jesus.
Speece and Falconer both allegedly told the deputy that they were stepfather and stepdaughter. The couple was arrested and charged with lewd and lascivious acts and booked to the Brevard County Jail. They're talking? Somebody?
I think that's Satsu's neighbors being loud again.
Oh, shit! I got on headphones, so I couldn't hear it.
No, I thought, yeah, it was that situation where I was like, is that in my space or is that in my headphone space, kind of thing. Let's see. Known for launching rockets, the small beach. Yeah, I know what Cape Canaveral is. Okay, thank you. You always have to give that little little historical information at the end of an article when it happens in a specific location.
Before you close it, you should read the paragraph right under it because there's more historical information. I got it open still.
Earlier this year, Brevard Times broke the story when Bad Girls reality TV star Nicole Vargas was arrested for allegedly performing oral sex on a man in public in Cape Canaveral and later beating a witness who complained of the public display.
Wow. Apparently, Cape Canaveral is the place to go to get public blowjobs.
Yeah.
I have to tell Squishy.
But
it's a family destination. You
need a lookout because the cops are there.
Okay, this one comes from Subcon Jazz.
Why? How old was she? Wait a second.
39. 39, and he was 65.
She couldn't find a younger penis to suck on?
Maybe she likes older men that are his dad, her dad. Like she has daddy issues.
Wrinkly, kind of dad dick?
Well, it's only wrinkly till it's hard.
It's still got gray pubes and the balls are dangling. No, come on, sweetie. You're young. No.
Monkey, just because your dick like that don't mean that.
I'm only 43. My shit stand up tight. Ask your mom.
She told me a whole 2 inches tall.
Whoa! Fuck. Okay. Anyway, this one comes.
I'm gonna find a counter to that.
Subcon Jazz. Yeah, Dirty Dozen. So.
Well, I can't insult his mom. His mom's a sweetheart, so I got to come back with something else.
Yeah, you can't insult the mom. Can't insult Squishy. You can't insult.
All right,
I'm sure
fuck
you,
you, Satsu.
I'm sure you can come up with something 7 Days to Die related.
I'll figure something out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but god damn it.
All right, so this is Subcon Jazz sending us something from Slate. It's fancy because it's Slate. Amy Coney Barrett, the potential Supreme Court nominee, is allegedly a member of a religious group that's been called a cult.
Oh boy! Didn't we say it was going to be something? Like it had to be something.
Did you know that she's got 7 children?
Jesus.
I read that today. I was like, holy shit.
I'm banging.
Amy Coney Barrett, now a judge in the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, became a heroic figure to some religious conservatives during her confirmation hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee last fall. Senator Dianne Feinstein challenged the Catholic law professor about her religious beliefs, sneering, it seemed to many, that, quote, the dogma lives loudly within you, unquote. The dogma, the force. I can feel the force within you. With its strong whiff of anti-Catholic prejudice, the line became a rallying cry on the right. I'd never heard of that before, but okay. This past weekend, Barrett emerged as a potential favorite to replace Justice Anthony Kennedy upon his retirement later this month. CBS News reported on Monday that Barrett and D.C. Circuit Court Judge Brett Kavanaugh are Trump's leading contenders for the appointment. Barrett is in her 40s, which means she could serve for decades, and she would be the court's only conservative woman, which some commentators have noted would make for better optics on abortion cases. She's also the mother of 7, including 1 child with special needs and 2 children adopted from Haiti. Oh, okay. So when do we get to the part of the... Okay. Many critics are particularly incensed over her apparent membership in a Catholic-adjacent group called People of Praise, which the New York Times reported last fall. Law professor and Senate candidate Richard Painter tweeted the Old Times story this weekend and said People of Praise looks like a cult. Another prominent critic one-upped Painter by calling it, quote, a secretive religious cult. Okay, and thank you, Gregory Hurst. It's only wrinkly till it's hard, the Scribe story. Yes, that's going to be my autobiography. Actually, I think my autobiography is just going to be called Got It. Or that goes on my grave. I'm not quite sure yet. The Times story does not use the word cult, but it's easy to see why some of its details alarmed many readers. People of Praise members are said to be accountable to a same-sex advisor called a head for men, and until recently a handmaiden for women, who give input on a wide variety of personal decisions. They swear, quote, a lifelong oath of loyalty, unquote, to the group. As one blogger put it, quote, Barrett is a dangerous religious extremist who believes a federal judge can subvert the U.S. Constitution and the laws of the United States in order to promote her own religious agenda. Knowing Barrett's fiercely conservative legal credentials, what are we to make of her alleged membership in such a group? I don't know. If it was a Mormon candidate, would it be any different, I guess? I don't know.
They asked that question like it actually matters because they're going to make of it whatever the fuck they want to. So,
and again, this has already come up. This is an old New York Times article.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
From when
that never says cult. Yeah, never says the word cult. Moving on. Let's see.
And how dare she clerk for Antonin Scalia? Fuck off. Anyway, sorry.
This one comes from Jack, the motherfucking cockring. Starbucks advisors, anti-racial bias training isn't enough. Time for a full, quote, civil rights audit, unquote.
Huh. Oh man, it
Civil
has to
rights
suck.
audit. That sounds like a witch hunt. Let's see. Starbucks advisors say the company's anti-racial bias training in response to the arrest of 2 black men at a store in Philadelphia isn't enough. And they're proposing a civil rights audit of the company to make equity its #1 concern. Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz contacted Heather McGee of the equality advocacy group Demos and Sherilyn Eiffel of the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund after the arrest in May for advice. The two wrote a report with several recommendations, including, quote, a top-to-bottom civil rights audit, more resources for employees encountering customers with mental health and addiction problems. What? How do you know what the customers that have mental health and addiction problems or the employees do?
I think they're talking about the customers, which would require you to have a conversation that you probably shouldn't be having while selling them.
I just want coffee.
It's like I'd like a grande latte, please. Are you currently suffering from mental illness or have an addiction, customer person? I'm addicted to coffee. Oh shit!
Isn't addiction what they sell there?
Yeah,
they literally peddle addiction.
I mean, Starbucks, for lack of, to be glorified a little bit, but Starbucks are drug dealers. It's like, here's your caffeine. You know, it's a relatively harmless drug, but it's a drug. That's what it is.
I just like the idea of going to Starbucks for your therapy.
Well, I just like the idea of having an on-site psychiatrist at every Starbucks location to analyze each customer as they come to the counter, to see if the employee needs some kind of support for having to encounter them at the cash register.
Fucking retarded.
Okay.
I have one I want to read.
I haven't finished this one yet.
Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No, I was just pausing. More resources for employees encountering customers with mental health and addiction problems, and the creation of a customer bill of rights to be posted at each store. Okay, so after the training of...
I think the first right should be not to be psychoanalyzed as you buy coffee.
That might be appreciated. After the training of 175,000 employees, McGee and Eiffel found some improvements in their understanding of the nature of unconscious bias, but the advisors decided a more rigorous evaluation needs to be done. It takes a lot of work to create the utopian culture Starbucks imagines. The advisors suggested the company be thoroughly examined through, quote, a civil rights lens, looking at things like variances in customer treatment based on background and racial equity in the Starbucks workforce, from frontline employees to the boardroom. Okay, how do you do that without being a mind reader? I mean,
you can't.
You treat, okay, you know, I go to the same Starbucks every day. I get treated differently than a lot of people because they know me there. They know my name. They know what I'm there to order. I talk to them. I know their names. We get along. They're going to treat me differently than somebody that's just walking in who comes in once a month or something that they've never seen before. Does that mean that I'm getting preference because of what I look like or because they know me? Thank you, Flair Fritz. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be entitled to financial compensation. So have a pumpkin spice latte today.
That's the asbestos lung thing.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if, oh my God, that's going to be interesting. Like, there's going to be a lot of random black people going to Starbucks outside of their neighborhood complaining that they're not being treated with the special treatment of the regulars there.
I would do it just to fuck with them. I really would.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The customer bill of rights would go on the walls of every store, quote, clarifying new policies, including the opening of restrooms and stores to all customers, whether they've made a purchase or not.
Oh,
unquote. This means Starbucks
customer.
Hold on.
This means
Starbucks employees will be forced to interact with homeless individuals streaming in from the streets, including those who are mentally ill and have addiction issues. This essentially turns employees into social workers of sorts, requiring them to seek help from outside groups like the United Way.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
There's going to be a mass. Like, people are going to be leaving Starbucks in droves now.
Can we just focus on one part of that for just a second? Because I keep seeing this. You are not a customer if you don't purchase something.
Yeah.
You're not. A customer is somebody who's buying something.
At that point, you're just kind of loitering.
Yes.
And that's what it's going to come out to, dude. Like, there's so many kids right now in the Starbucks inside of Target that sit there, like, just fucking around all day, and they have to put them out because they're like, y'all are making too much noise. Y'all are disturbing people. You're not buying anything. You can't sit over here and take up all the seats. And they move the chairs, and this is going to be disastrous for them. Are they trying to destroy themselves?
Well, they're trying to prove that they are compassionate.
Well,
and that they're woke.
Death by virtue is what it's going to be.
We so woke, we bankrupt.
Yeah, woke to broke. That's going to be the Starbucks story. That's going to be the documentary. It's like woke to broke, the Starbucks downfall.
Yo, Scribe, write that shit down now, so that way when it does happen, we can jump on it first.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll put it on a Twitter tweet so nobody can say I didn't come up with it first. All right, Monkey, your turn.
What? Oh, my story. Okay, yeah. This one comes from Colleen Bernier, and I'm only reading it because I love the headline.
Uh-huh.
The headline reads, a massive object devastated Uranus a long time ago, and it never fully recovered. Let that sink in, guys. Whoever wrote this had a great time with that title. Yeah, there's just new pictures of Uranus out, and it shows a splotch on it that is apparently because of something flying around the solar system. I'm not reading the entire article. I just wanted to read that headline because that's great.
That is just hilarious.
A massive object devastated Uranus.
There's no way that was an accident.
Oh, that's not an accident. No fucking way.
That was 100% by design.
And thank you, Colleen, for giving that to me. It's better than that giant alien testicle you gave me last week.
Oh, yeah.
That was weird.
Let's see. What was that? Okay. Oh, yeah. I talked about the charity.
What the fuck? No.
What?
This is another one from Colleen Bernier while you're looking for something.
Okay.
I just scrolled down and saw the picture. Razor company earns praise for showing women with body hair.
Yay.
Isn't that the opposite of what a woman wants a razor for?
That's like, don't give us any more money. The campaign. We don't want your money anymore. Don't worry about using razors.
Razor company Billy is showing women that body hair is part of their Project Body Hair campaign, and people
Body Hair.
People on social media are loving it.
Of course they are.
The brand claims they are the first women's razor company to show women's body hair in an ad for more than 100 years.
But
I know.
So are all companies trying to kill themselves? What the fuck is happening?
On Twitter and Instagram, women have been applauding the brand for showing close-ups of hairy armpits, monobrows, stomachs, and legs. This is damn beautiful, wrote one Instagram user about the ad, which has gone viral. I don't like razors, but that ad is dope, agreed another. One user pointed out how long it took for a razor company to move beyond typical women's razor commercials, which usually show a woman with already smooth legs. Yes, because you're trying to project the idea that you can get this look from this razor, you dumb motherfucker. Oh, there's some pictures that accompany this article. That's pretty much all there is to it, but the monobrow is awesome. I enjoy that one. The chick with the really, really hairy armpits is also attractive.
Okay. Well, from that tragic notion to something.
You know what? Time out. Colleen, I just gave you a compliment, and then you gave me hairy women. You're back on my shit list.
All right. Well, you remember the story we read the other night about the guy who'd been like allegedly poisoning his coworkers for 20 years and
yes
knocking them up. And I said something to the effect of it reminded me of like those nurses who,
I know where you're going.
Yeah, those nurses who end up offing their patients over the course of years and nobody understands it because it looks like a regular medical death or something. Well, Surprise, surprise, it's happened again. This comes from the metro.co.uk and given to us by Massive Dynamics. Home of nurse searched after healthcare worker arrested over murder of 8 babies. Police investigating the alleged murder of 8 babies at a hospital in Chester have searched the home of a nurse. As part of their investigations, police have searched the Chester home of Lucy Letby, with plainclothes officers said to be attending her parents' home in Hereford. A healthcare worker was arrested today on suspicion of murdering 8 babies at the neonatal unit at the Countess of Chester Hospital. The unnamed suspect, also accused of the attempted murder of a further 6 babies, remains in custody. They described the arrested woman as, quote, a healthcare professional this morning. They have not said whether the woman is a nurse, doctor, or worked in another role. The arrest comes as part of a long-running investigation following a high number of baby deaths at the hospital. The investigation was first launched in May 2017 and initially focused on the deaths of 15 babies between June 2015 and June 2016. Today, police said they had made an arrest and the probe had widened.
I saw the headline, couldn't bring myself to read it. Fuck, yeah. Jesus, what the hell's wrong with people?
Yeah, I read a true crime book not too long ago about a guy who was a nurse that moved from hospital to hospital and nobody caught him because every time he did it to someone who was elderly, who already had known problems, and did it in such a way that it was difficult to say with any certainty that something untoward had happened. And even though hospital administrators were suspicious, they couldn't find a way to actually censure the guy that would affect his record because they had no proof, but they worked to just move him out of their hospital. It reminds me a lot of the same process the Catholic Church went through, except in this case, you're talking about killing people.
Anyway. I have a Florida woman.
You do? What are you going to do with her?
Well, she's a little stinky for me.
Take her to Cape Canaveral is what you do.
Okay, Colleen, I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. From Colleen Bernier, something fishy about odor from woman's clothing in Vero Beach.
Jesus.
In the case of 64-year-old Vero Beach woman, any odor may have been swiped sushi, according to information from an arrest affidavit. Indian River County Sheriff's investigators on June 13 went to a Publix in the 1200 block of US 1. A loss prevention officer reported spotting a woman, later identified as Susan Gully, on aisle 3. The loss prevention officer saw Gully hide coffee, syrup, cooking wine, and tuna in her purse. Next, Gully is accused of stuffing sushi in her pants. Sushi is an Asian dish often featuring cold rice moistened with rice vinegar combined in various ways with small pieces of raw fish or other seafood. In case you guys didn't know what sushi is. The loss prevention officer reported Gully paid for the deli drink and water, but not the other items valued at $49.25. Gully evidently wasn't fishing for a compliment by telling investigators she absconded with the victuals because she was between checks.
Real quick. Thank you, Cryptic. Speaking of hair, why does Japanese porn blur the privates? The junk is small enough to be covered in hair anyways. That's actually because of laws, the prudish laws from World War II occupied Japan. That's like after 1868. Let's see. I looked it up, actually. Porn was first seriously restricted in Japan in the Meiji era, which when materials deemed, quote, injurious to public morals were banned, thanks to the introduction of Victorian morals from the West. After Japan's defeat in World War II, American occupation authorities changed many of Japan's laws to guarantee freedom of speech and expression. Sadly, the occupation authorities decided that the pre-existing law regarding pornography didn't need to be changed. It has remained in effect to this day. While the 60 years after World War II saw the acceptance of uncensored pornography as freedom of expression in the West, Japan continued to consider it injurious to public morals. So they still blur out the, quote, hardcore stuff as a result of those laws.
Yeah, dude.
Education.
I saw a video of, like, they were showing, like, Japanese people American porn, and they were fucking fascinated. They're just losing their minds. Like, I can't believe this isn't blurred out.
Well, we are far over time for MSS News to YouTube time. So thank you guys for the stories. Appreciate it. Sorry I couldn't get to everything. If we find ourselves running short on deep topics, we'll go back to MSS News. But now it's YouTube time. Satsu, I guess you kind of told us what you were working on, but everything kind of went kablooey. Oh, thank you, Cryptic. I tried a joke, got a history lesson. That's what we do here, Cryptic. I mean, you try to make a joke, I try to give you the history behind it because we're educational here.
He is. I'm just here to make dick jokes.
Well, I also was curious myself. I was like, I didn't quite know, but I looked it up, and now I know, and knowing's half the battle. G.I. Jane. Okay. So, Satsu, what were you working on that got stunted by the power outages?
Well, I was doing the BuzzFeed article, and I was actually I had started on the curb stomp comment that the one chick made. I forgot her name or whatever. When everybody was saying that she was inciting violence because she said that she's glad that the left is being curb stomped politically. Back when that whole Milo thing was going on, but it was clearly metaphorical. But people are fucking retarded. So those are the two things that I was working on. And I got about halfway through the first one, and I had a power outage. And then the second time when I was trying to process it, during the processing, we got another power outage. So I just said, fuck it. And then I was going to attempt the second one, but before I can even get started, and we were doing laundry at the time too, and the fucking power went out again. So I'm just like, all right, well, no work for me today. Yeah.
Let's see. And Monkey, fingers crossed. What are you working on?
Nothing.
I thought you were in the process of making something.
I was. I got distracted, and I'll get back to it. I will.
All right. Okay. I too did not work on anything today. I had the aftermath of month-end billing and trying to get a bunch of stuff done so I could leave the office early because tomorrow's a day off, and I wanted to have some extra time so I could goof off and not have to work. And I was able to leave early, so yeah, that was nice. Yeah. Otherwise, shall we move on to internet fucketry? Because
it's a good thing we ran long.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I let it run a little longer because I knew that I wouldn't have anything much to say. Sats already told us that he'd been sabotaged by power outages, and though my fingers were crossed, I was pretty sure, the monkey wouldn't have much to report. Like I say, hope springs eternal. Internet fucketry. I have something.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, I'll do this one quick because this was an MSS News story, but it's also technically internet fucketry because it's Twitter-based. So it is a story that has all the details in here. Now, when I read this, I thought it was a sarcasm joke. Like a sarcastic joke about current events. Mm-hmm. We're being asked, will there be Lords of the Night tomorrow night? I'll
be here.
No.
If you guys want to join me, you're welcome to. I will be here.
Okay.
I might have to leave briefly for fireworks. Though.
Yeah, I will be here one way or the other.
Yeah.
So Amber Heard, the actress, former spouse of Johnny Depp, warns Hollywood of ICE checkpoint, quote, give housekeepers, nannies, landscapers a ride home.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the actual quote. Okay, here it is. Here's the tweet. Just heard there's an ICE checkpoint in Hollywood a few blocks from where I live. Everyone better give their housekeepers, nannies, and landscapers a ride home tonight, she wrote. She quickly deleted the tweet, though not before it had been screen grabbed for posterity, and wrote a tweet apparently trying to clarify. Checkpoints on your home streets. Is this the great America we're aiming for? Raids, fences, and police state-like checkpoints? Whatever. Sorry. You're a racist. No. Because when I read that, I thought, is this like a joke on the whole ICE thing? But no, I guess she meant it literally.
Yeah, she actually was trying to defend them, but she forgot that we live in the age of outrage, and it backfired. So your virtue shot you back in the face. Good job.
Well,
stupid.
there's a good reason it shot her back in the face. I saw this earlier. It's not one I commented on, but I did see this one. And several people pointed out, this looks like, the only reason all you rich motherfuckers in Hollywood want illegals is so you don't have to pay them as much.
That's also true. Yeah.
Of course.
Because, God forbid you have to pay an hourly wage that you're telling us that everyone else should have to pay, you dickholes.
Or
Protect
do
your cheap assets.
Or do your own housework, God
Yeah.
forbid. Your own laundry, your own yard work or something. It's like, oh, you can't be bothered because you have too much money. You'd think having more money would free up your time to be able to do those things.
Or at least pay the actual, decent rate in America.
Yeah.
And this is a problem, guys. This is one of the reasons sorry, I'm going off on a little immigration rant here. For all the talk about, illegals coming over here, the vast majority of them don't have paperwork that they've stolen from other people so that they can get paid normal. Mm-hmm. They are being paid under the table. They're being paid well below what they should be making. And they're no better off than they were where they were. I said that right. They're no better off than they were in their home country. They're living in fear. They're not getting the money they're supposed to. Fuck it. This is not good for anybody involved, except apparently Hollywood stars.
Lucky Seven's going to bed. Good night.
Night, Lucky.
Bye, Lucky Seven. Any other internet fuckertree that was happening today? I'm sure there was.
I saw one today that just pissed me right off. And it's the reason I dropped off Twitter early today. I'm just going to read it. I'm not going to name the guy who did it. He's got a verified blue check mark, though.
Uh-oh.
Ironic that there are women on the right rallying for the death of affirmative action. The greatest beneficiaries of affirmative action have been white women. But okay, y'all want to think you're making America great again.
Wait, the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action have been white women?
According to him, and he says he has the statistics on his page. I don't know where he gets them from. That's not what really bothered me about. Well, it kind of is, but one, you don't support a racist program just because you benefited from it. Mm-hmm. And two, if we did think like that, we should think everybody who fought for the Union in the Civil War was a moron.
Right.
Because white men benefited more from slavery than anyone.
Not only that, it goes against their narrative right now that white people need to fight the system that they are currently benefiting from.
Yes, it's fucking retarded. And they're the greatest beneficiaries of this racist, sexist program. Well, shit, they should be for it. How dare they not see how fucking stupid it is? I saw that this morning. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm done. The amount of stupid that comes through Twitter these days, and I don't know if I've just noticed it more or if it really is worse this last week and a half, but Jesus, fuck, there's a lot of dumb people out there.
Mm-hmm. They were.
Do you have anything, Satsu?
Fucketry? Not really. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was something I seen earlier when I was like losing my shit about the power outages and stuff. The little time that I did get to look around, but I just started like playing games on my phone because I couldn't really do anything else. But hold on, let's venture back over to Facebook because I'm sure I commented on something and you guys know. Facebook is a wonderland of magnificent and not stupid things. Oh, wow. The Walmart impeach thing.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And my comment on that, I just left a simple comment. I said, snowflakes everywhere, apparently. To each their own. Free speech.
Well, here's the thing. Walmart was not selling this t-shirt. It was a vendor or a third-party thing that hooks into their site. They sell through the Walmart site, but it's not an official Walmart product or anything. The one story I saw, and it said last year or earlier this year, I forget which, Walmart got in trouble for a shirt that had a rope, a tree, and it said journalist and assembly required. Yeah, that's not a left-wing shirt there. That's more the right wing these days. Yeah, all these people pissed off. I don't like the shirt. It says impeach and it says 45 underneath it. It looks kind of like a jersey. Like impeach would be the name of the team. I just don't understand why everybody got all pissed off about it. I personally, I've been boycotting boycotts for the last year and a half, and I'm going to keep on doing that.
Well, that's why I said, I'm like, okay, well, snowflakes, they're falling in every direction nowadays. But whatever. If whoever wants to sell that shirt wants to sell it, then fucking whatever. But it is what it is. If people can boycott Target for fucking having a shirt that says "boys will be boys," then let the fucking snowflakes on the other side get mad too. I don't care. Like,
was that Satsu or was that me?
Must have been you. He was fine.
Oh shit! Am I breaking up?
No, you sound good.
Yeah, you sound good.
All right. Well, let me know because Satsu was fading out for me there. So that's my signal that maybe my internet's fucking around with me.
Yeah. Well, snowflakes got a flake is basically what I was saying.
Yeah. I have a story, deep topic-ish if we're done with that stuff.
Oh,
sure. Go ahead.
Well, hold on. Before you go into that, there was one more thing I seen that I cannot confirm if it was real or not. It looked like that the channel that this was on was MSNBC, and I'm not certain because I can't find it anymore. And I was trying to figure out if it was real. But basically, the news people were giving the actual definition of words that are, used in the current social discourse and what they mean. And it was fucking fascinating. So, snowflake, the word snowflake means black people. So when when people say snowflake, or calling somebody,
give me a link for this.
I told you I can't find. I'm still looking for it again now. But it was like
find a link to this if you can. That's crazy.
Okay, yeah. Snowflake meant black people. SJW meant stingy Jews.
What?
Yeah. SJW meant stingy Jews. Hold on, what was the other one? God damn it, I gotta find it. Oh my God.
Yeah, this sounds fake.
It was ridiculous. It looked real.
I have an article in the Los Angeles Times, Cuck Snowflake Masculinist, a guide to the language of the alt-right.
Oh, is that it?
Okay. So
let me see.
I found the thing. It's from a year ago. It's a fake newscast that was put together on MSNBC's Kekistan, a rising threat thing.
Oh, it's still funny though. You gotta watch because the definitions were killing me.
Yeah, the definitions on here are correct. So okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway.
Oh man. That's what I said. I was like, I'm looking for the real thing.
Yeah, that's fake. It's a fake video.
Okay. No wonder I couldn't find it. I'm just like, nah, there's no way.
Yeah. Somebody took a whole bunch of footage from MSNBC and strung it together to make it sound like that's what they were saying.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's like an old Reddit joke video or something.
Gotcha. I was dying. Like I showed it to Squishy and she literally grabbed my phone, laid it down on the table and said, "Look, you need to stop it right now." Oh my God. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So what do you got, Monkey?
This was actually sent to us on MSS News, but I also have seen it floating on Twitter. It came to us on MSS News from Subcon Jazz. And it's from Teen Vogue.
Uh-oh.
Scarlett Johansson will reportedly play a trans man in new movie Rub and Tug.
Uh-huh. And
well, Teen Vogue doesn't think women should be playing trans women and men should not be playing trans men.
It's one of those.
So I don't care. I mean, what about Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club? He played a transgender person.
It's amazing you bring that up. We're going to skip the first two sentences or articles or things about this. It's just telling that the movie's being made. It's not the first time this has happened in Hollywood. Look to Hilary Swank in Boys Don't Cry or Jared Leto in Dallas Buyers Club. See?
Well, Boys Don't Cry was a true story, for fuck's sake. And, even though I'm not the biggest Hilary Swank fan, it was a good movie. I mean, it was a low budget drama. It was really well received. It was actually really well acted. I think Chloe Sevigny or whatever was her first starring role or whatever. It was a great flick. What's that got to do with shit?
This is going to be based on a true story too.
Okay, so.
But given the need for accurate representation, both on screen and off, it's crucial that people outside of a narrow cisgender lens feel seen.
Oh, God.
We need roles written for everyone, and casting directors should then know how to cast those roles accordingly. Wait for this. Non-binary transmasculine actor Ellie DeSaltels told GLAAD about their portrayal of transgender student Michael on Rise.
Spell that actor's name out for me.
DeSautels. Yeah, sorry, I can't pronounce that. DeSaltels.
What was the first name?
Ellie, Ellie.
I'm curious as to this person's. Okay, IMDb.
Non-binary transmasculine. I like that.
Let's see. Filmography, actor. TV series called Rise, which I've never heard of before. It's just came out this year, and then a short film or something from 2013. Are they saying that they should be cast in this movie?
No. They just
okay.
that they should hire trans people to play trans people.
Right. Rather than get Scarlett Johansson, which will pretty much guarantee funding of the film in the first place, and get out a story about a trans person that will elevate the profile of the idea of trans people to the world through the stardom and platform of Scarlett Johansson, who's using her privilege to get out a message to marginalized groups to the world. Yeah. Who gives a shit? Jesus Christ.
Well, apparently trans people now do.
Every time I hear that, it's like, oh, you have to use your privilege in order to elevate the plights and the oppressions of marginalized people. Okay, well, that's what Scarlett Johansson's doing, and now she's a villain for it, for being paid to do what everyone's asking to have done.
What's more, this is about somebody. What's his name? Let me get her name. Sorry, the real life. Where's the name? You idiots! Oh, Dante Tex Gill.
That's an amazing name.
Yeah, not to be confused with Randall Tex Cobb.
Wow, Monkey's just full of trivia tonight.
Indeed. But the film is about a real-life Pittsburgh businessman, Dante Tex Gill, who created a successful massage parlor chain that the Post-Gazette reported was a front for sex work. Gill died in 2003 and rose to prominence in the 70s and 80s. So the language people used to describe trans people was different, though that doesn't make it okay. The article actually says that. That doesn't make it okay. The Post-Gazette 2003 obituary said Gill identified himself as Mr. Gill and added that the transgender community was so underground that it had yet to acquire that label.
Oh, Monday Matt's in the chat. Hi, Matt.
What's up, Matt?
Yo.
Yeah. So, Scarlett Johansson's playing a trans madam, I guess.
Scarlett Johansson needs to stop playing anybody but Scarlett Johansson, because when she played a quasi Asian character in Ghost in the Shell, she's an evil villain. She plays a transgender woman, she's an evil villain. She just needs to do Black Widow and nothing else for the rest of her life, and she could probably live off of that. Thank you, Cryptic. Happy endings. God, that movie. Shit, I saw that movie a long time.
It's just I'm tired of these narratives about having to change language from history.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they're going to do here, and they've started doing it in like war movies and stuff. If you want to tell a historical story, you should at least be accurate with it.
That's like the John McCain thing. It's like, I forgive John McCain for using a bad word in reference to his torturers and his captors.
Yeah. How dare he?
The other thing too, when I read articles like this, I think to myself, okay, so if you're going to portray a particular kind of person in a performance or whatever, then the actor themselves must be that type of person in order to legitimately play that character. That's the argument I constantly hear. So my response is, okay, someone call Lin-Manuel Miranda and tell him to stop playing Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly.
Call Idris Elba and tell him to stop playing Heimdall, which I guess he can now because of, spoiler alert, he's dead now technically, unless he comes back, or like, you know, the gunslinger for Idris Elba again. He played the gunslinger who was described basically as Clint Eastwood in the books.
Yeah,
but this argument has no feet. It's called acting. It's called pretending to be something you're not. Did you see Galaxy Quest? You know the part where Tim Allen has to admit to the aliens that they're actors and they don't understand the concept. So he basically says, "We lied."
Yeah,
it's lying for entertainment. It's portraying something that you are not for the sake of drama and telling a story, etc. So. Well, this argument always ticks me off because it's just nonsense.
Here's the thing. I want to know how detailed it has to be. If a male to female trans has had an operation to go fully female, are they allowed to still play the trans man who becomes a woman? Or does it have to be somebody who's still swinging if the dude was still swinging?
And can a trans man play a male role anywhere?
Probably not, because, well, yeah, they're allowed to do whatever.
No, they would celebrate that because that's being inclusive. But
yes, that's
of course not. Okay. What really kills me though is I'm like we always say, and this is no longer like I don't want to hear people say that you know, that's a fallacy. I mean, it's still a fallacy, obviously, the snowball effect or whatever. But like we've been watching this shit happen for so long. So how far is this going to go? If you don't have clinical depression, you can't play a movie or a person in a movie that has clinical depression.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not fucking bipolar, then you can't play a movie and play a person who's bipolar. Or, you know, just like how deep.
If you haven't committed suicide, you can't play Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, or I was going to say, you know, Warner Brothers is doing a casting call at a local psychiatric hospital looking for the next Joker. You know, it's like, give me, yeah, okay. Honestly, if this rule applied across the board, that you can only play what you are or something, we wouldn't have Scarface with Al Pacino. Al Pacino's not Cuban. He's not Cuban. He played fucking Tony Montana, who was a Cuban exile. And you couldn't have done it. He wouldn't be allowed to do it. If you can play the part, I don't care. Now, there are some things that are, you know, if they're done on the basis of this is the best actor for the job, I don't give a shit. If you're doing it as a diversity hire or something, or try to make yourself look like you're virtuous because you put someone who doesn't look like the canon character into the role just for the sake of PR, that's bullshit. You know, like I wouldn't care if James Bond, like the big thing was make Idris Elba James Bond because he's British and, you know, James Bond. It's like, I wouldn't give a shit except for the fact that you're not putting Idris Elba in the role because he's Idris Elba. You're putting it in there because he's black. And that's not what it's supposed to be about. I thought that's what the world we want to live in is, but what the fuck do I know?
I want to read two things from chat. One that's just going to make that was just worthy. But still funny. Random American says they should cast Kit from Knight Rider because he is Trans Am.
Oh!
Well played.
You know, Val Kilmer gave his voice to the redone TV show version of Kit when it came out a few years ago.
I've never seen the redone version.
It wasn't good. It didn't last, but yeah, it was interesting.
And then Backscan says, I can't wait until the complaining about their... No, that's not the one. Where was it? Right under that. Sorry. Devil Fruit Zero says, wouldn't that be blackwashing or minority washing, just like whitewashing is a thing? I have a question about that. If it's trans washing, would that be dick washing?
See, that whole concept implies that there's an intent in doing it, that you're doing this specifically on the basis of race.
Well, that's how this entire narrative was built, which was what pisses me off, because they're like, they put white people in movies because they're white and they hate blacks. And it's like, no, that's not what's happening. But you now are putting black people in movie because you hate white people. Like that, you're doing that now because you accuse somebody else of doing it and you're justifying, well, that's what they do. No, it's not what they do. They fucking hire people who are good for the job and they pay them to do said job. But now the thing that you're saying, you know, you're hiring people because of skin color and they just want white people everywhere. They don't want black people anywhere. Like, no, that is now you. Like, you are now doing that.
The other aspect, and this relates to actually a movie I recommend anybody watch who likes movies. It's called Lost in La Mancha. It's a behind-the-scenes documentary of Terry Gilliam trying to make his Don Quixote movie, which is still in some rights hell right now. But anyway, they explain the movie business from a financial aspect. And they talk about how in order to secure funding from the producers or from the investors or whatever else, there are certain things in a movie that secure the money on the background. And one of those things is if you have an actor who is a name actor, like in his case, Terry Gilliam had Johnny Depp cast at the time to play the sort of Sancho character. They become an essential element of the funding. They're basically part of the purchase that the investors are making in putting money into the movie. Scarlett Johansson carries a hell of a lot of guarantee of return on investment. So looking at it from a completely economical standpoint, if you have Scarlett Johansson playing a character in your movie, doesn't matter really what it is, there's going to be a return. That's what gets the money. So this story likely would not be told or not told as well or as well funded if you had an actor in it who was not Scarlett Johansson. You'd probably have some indie film or something. So like I say, this story, this concept, this person's struggle, which I assume since it's a true story, is going to be having far higher profile on the back of Scarlett Johansson than you would just, you know, some actor somewhere. And I'm not saying that there's not better actors out there. I don't think Scarlett Johansson's the bee's knees or nothing. But at the same time, what are you complaining about? This is you're putting like a story about someone who is in a situation that is always being held up as like this is the current civil rights struggle into the mainstream through a mainstream actress playing a part. It's fiction, talking about real things. Why complain? And then you shame her because of her sexuality? Because she's straight? Because she's cis or whatever?
Because she's actually female.
Yeah, she's actually female. Oh my God! It's just the cops are coming for me. I'm yelling so loud.
You know what?
The contradictions of logic and virtue and all this. Every time one of these things happens, just hurts my fucking head.
I as I read that article, I didn't notice him mention Sean Young. In Ace Ventura, she played a tranny.
That's
we're
true.
not allowed to say tranny. A transsexual.
James Colley. Oh, hold on a second. There, yeah. This is what happens when I live just about half a mile away from a highway patrol office. James Colley, thank you. And if she shows her nips, it's going to win an Oscar.
If she shows her nips, she's going to have to. They're going to have to dial them down. She has. Doesn't she have? She has woman nips, and men don't have those kind of nips.
No, she'll have to wear makeup prosthetics to make them look fake.
Yeah. She's going to have to wear fake titties on top of her real titties.
Yeah, or just have makeup to make them look like they're more plastic or, you know, not real. That'd be weird. This is Kyle says, Scribe, that's not the cop. It's the thought police. Yeah, maybe.
Uh-oh. You're not supposed to say transsexual either. Oh. You know what? I'll say whatever the fuck I want to say. Because I don't care. Because it doesn't change what it is by changing the fucking name, people.
Oh, yeah. Prospero says, Tom Hanks didn't have AIDS, but Philadelphia was considered brave, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it brought to light an issue that at the time was still pretty taboo. And, you know, I don't know how many people in the audience remember how long it took and how many individuals and dramas and everything else it took to really get people to understand the true nature of how AIDS operated. Because like there was the Ryan White story. If you don't remember Ryan White, that kid did more to both bring to light aids and also help to dissuade a whole bunch of myths and urban legends about how it operated. And then his movie did that for me, at least. And then at Philadelphia, at the same time, sort of capped off bringing the whole thing to the public consciousness, which is how sometimes movies work, and they do good things. And this Scarlett Johansson movie could be one of those things. But of course, it's evil because she's not the right kind of person to play the role. Like I say, yeah, go ahead.
When did Teen Vogue become this super political mag?
I don't know. It's really weird because Teen Vogue always seemed like just 3 steps up from Tiger Beat back when I was remembering for the kids. It's like this is for teenage girls and stuff, and now it's all like, oh, here's the pussy power. Here's the cavernous pussy power, or whatever the fuck it was.
How to take it anally.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
If the issue here is that person doesn't know the experience of, being transgender or whatever, wouldn't the issue be the director, not the person or the writer or the director?
It'd be the casting director and also whoever wrote the thing. Yeah. Does the writer of the film, are they a trans person?
Because they're going to be the ones telling them what to say. They're going to be reading their script. So it's not going to matter what that person's experience is. They're still going to be portraying whatever vision or whatever, they feel like needs to be portrayed based on, the historical whatever.
Well, and it's not even a single person's perspective, because in the movie business, surprise, surprise, even if the writer writes it and even if the director has a vision, there's 17 other people giving their input into the final product, because you've got the producers, you've got the actors on the set, you've got the rewrites, you've got this, that, you've got test audience results and all this. So no matter how it shakes out, even if a transgender person wrote the script, even if a transgender person directed the movie, unless every individual involved in the production is also transgender, you're not going to have something that's quote unquote purely transgender perspective coming out of it at the end. It just doesn't happen, So anyway,
I just went over to Teen Vogue to see what else they have. The other news story they have out right now is what to do if Border Patrol asks you for documentation.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
This is fucking Teen Vogue.
Teen Vogue. Okay, well, guys, I think we've delved into this deep topic deeply enough for now, so we're going to move on to chat time, guys. If you have, I was about to do the MSS news thing. Holy shit! I meant to say, if you have questions for us, if you have comments, if you have complaints, conspiracy theories, if you have any opinions on the stuff we've already talked about tonight, please put it in the chat. And if you have questions for us directly, please put question marks after it so we know it's for us. And we'll wait a second to have that catch up with everybody. But I got energized in this because this, like I said, it's the contradiction and the hypocrisy that's just so blatant between complaining about one thing on one hand and then championing it on the other because it's the kind of people you prefer. And no matter how you slice it, it doesn't matter what blank you fill in with the people you prefer. That's not how I wish the world would work in any way, shape, or form. But what do I know? Thank you, Data Wasteland. Do you remember the Blake Edwards movie, Victor Victoria, Julie Andrews playing a man, playing a woman, playing a man?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's one of my wife's favorite movies.
I don't know how that would go over today. Probably not well.
What about Tootsie?
Tootsie. Oh, yeah, Tootsie.
Or Mrs. Doubtfire.
Or hell, what about Bosom Buddies, for fuck's sake?
Bosom Buddies, yeah.
Random American says 7 days open server tonight.
Yes, guys, just a reminder, we won't be doing the open server tomorrow night, giving people a chance to go, watch their fireworks and stuff. So we're doing it tonight after the stream on 2 cents plus.
Let's see. Backscan says, if all the stupid on Earth were turned into energy, how big would the explosion be? It would be a Twinkie 75 feet long, weighing 7,000 pounds.
I get that.
BG Scribe, can we question your sanity? Hey, by all means, maybe I'll get the role of the Joker. Kara Zering says, what do mermaids call their version of the birds and the bees?
Fucking.
The starfish and the guppies? Maybe, or the coral.
Starfish and the tuna.
The guppies and the coral, maybe. This is Kyle says, have any of you guys been to Fremont Street in Las Vegas?
No.
I've been to Las Vegas when I was like 18. I may have, for all I know, crossed Fremont Street, but I was with my family. So Fremont Street, some kind of red light district, probably not.
I've never been.
Let's see. Judge Death, does Border Patrol play Papers, Please in their spare time? There was a short film made based on Papers, Please, and it's actually pretty good. I think it was only like 10, 15 minutes long or something, but yeah. Let's see. Ranting Monkey, tweet out that 7 Days to Die open server is tonight, says Scrappy.
I did that before the stream.
Michael Cruz, a Scribe Light, are you legally allowed to shoot fireworks where you live? I don't want to shoot fireworks in my house. Einar Jameson, thank you. Poll, if Alyssa Milano founded a charity to provide legal aid to child migrants seeking asylum, would anyone donate assuming the charity was legit? Legal aid to child migrants seeking asylum. It would depend on where they were coming from, I guess, because, you know, if they're coming from Syria or some war zone or something, then perhaps. But then if they're a legitimate asylum seeker from, you know, a refugee or something, but if they're seeking asylum on the basis of, you know, an individual claim from any other country, we have a process for that. I don't know. I'd have to have a lot more information about the children involved or what the specifics were. Just, yeah.
I'm going to go with no, just a flat no, because there's other things that do that already.
The answer should have just been flat out yes. Y'all are both bigots.
Duck Dog says, I would donate a huge wad to Alyssa Milano. Maybe like 90s Alyssa Milano, but Michael Hatfield says, Robert De Niro and Al Pacino can't play gangsters or cops because they're not gangsters or cops. You're right. I guess so. No one can play a mafioso in a mafia movie anymore unless they were actually a mafia member.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are you doing Lords of the Night tomorrow, says Batty? So far as I know, we are. I'll be here. Monkey will be here. Satsu? I forget. Were you going off with the fireworks?
No, I'll be here.
Okay. So, yes, we'll be doing it tomorrow night on Monkey's channel. Jordan250 says, I tried playing Uno with a Border Patrol agent. He kept taking all the green cards. I think I heard that one before. The Red Hawk. How do you think the left will react long term to Trump winning a second term? What happened the first time times 5.
Oh, yeah.
They would lose their minds.
Yeah, but of course, then at that point, the crusade would be to build up the Democratic Party, or at least someone within the Democratic Party to be the champion who beats the Republican candidate the next time around. Because, you know, historically speaking, it's difficult to go from one party to another in one presidential cycle. So Trump would have to be so bad, or the Democratic candidate would have to be so good to try to not top the Republican candidate, depending on who they put up there. Let's see. Einar asks or says, the reason I ask is that child migrants are not provided with indigent counsel. Well, yeah, illegal aliens are not do not have a right to counsel, unlike citizens. So yeah, having legal aid for people legitimately seeking asylum and other things, I could see. Like I say, I'd need more information on it, because just blindly donating to legal aid for people that are claiming asylum, it would depend. It would depend on what country they're coming from or what their argument is, and that's kind of a one-on-one kind of deal.
Well, I saw something today that somebody was doing like a reenactment or whatever to show that I guess little kids have to represent themselves in immigration court. What? And they were showing like the little kid sitting at the table and like talking directly to the judge. Like what they showed was a reenactment because I guess they're not allowed to show you the real process. But yeah,
some courtrooms don't allow filming.
Yeah, but basically, and people were losing their shit in the chat, of course, like, fucking what has America come to? I'm like, once again, this is another thing that has been going on for probably decades, and nobody has said shit. But now that somebody's like, hey, by the way, this thing that's been happening forever is happening, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god, what kind of country is this?" Just like, stop.
Thank you, Alice Morgan. Satsu, you can play war correspondent with real explosions in the background. Oh yeah, so go to the fireworks and just like do Lord for Night from there and like reporting from the front lines.
Right. The Civil War has broken out.
K. Rosarian says, if you had to choose between Carl from Llamas in Hats and Hillary Clinton, who would you choose? I don't even know who Carl from Llamas in Hats is.
You need to know who Carl is from Llamas in Hats, because you need to know, because it is fucking hilarious. Carl is a sociopathic llama that is like he's a fucking psychopath. And a murderer, actually. And there are these hilarious videos of Carl just doing like really fucked up shit, and he's like super real chill about it. Yeah, it's funny. For his friend's birthday, he sliced off a bunch of people's faces and put them on balloons and flew them into the air to celebrate his birthday. Yeah. Carl's fucking psycho.
Prospero says, there are those who want to extend the habeas corpus rights, especially after the Guantanamo ruling, Scribe Light.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, not going to happen. See, I have a certain level of sympathy. Like, see, here's the thing. If someone is honestly seeking a way to make use of the system, we have a system for people to apply for asylum, but they do not have a right to legal assistance in that process. That disconnect, to me, doesn't sit 100% well, but at the same time, unless we change the Constitution or change the laws drastically, that's the way it is. So I'm kind of stuck between feeling a little bit like, well, on a moral level, you should at least provide somebody the ability to navigate our legal system if we're going to give them the option to make use of it. On the other hand, got to change the law drastically to make that happen. So,
well, I mean, one could say that they could have navigated it, if they would have not came over here illegally.
Well, I mean, like I say, if someone is legitimately running for their lives from something going on in their country, and it's happening to their village or whatever else it is, and they need to apply, but they don't have anybody to help them along with it, it's either they find outside help, or, if the law changes, then it becomes the taxpayer's responsibility to assist people coming to the country illegally, even if they are legitimately seeking asylum, to go through that. And of course, how do you decide whether or not someone's legitimately seeking asylum until they've gone through the process, which is just another burden on the taxpayer. So again, it's one of those things where I'm kind of somewhere in between on the argument, but anyway.
Yeah.
How come they never seek asylum in Mexico?
That's what I was thinking. I was just about to say, because like a lot of people who are coming over here escaping from these really far places, they go through a fuck ton of other places before they get here. And if the objective was just to get away from there, you succeeded once you got out. So why here specifically?
Viror of Ashmedai, which I know I fucked that up again because we always do. Mexico rejects people and sends them north. Can we reject them and send them to Canada? They're kind of going to Canada themselves, or at least I saw videos about people going there because they feared what Trump might do on the whole Muslim ban or otherwise things. So they're retreating to Canada to avoid being deported back to Mexico from America. So
wait till winter.
Because Canada has some really interesting laws when it comes to people crossing the border illegally. You can literally end up there living in Canada on the government's dime for like 5 to 10 years while they put your case through court. So yeah, Canada's sometimes more attractive, I guess. Let's see. Faith is application of reason. Just rewind to the story of a woman slicing off her hubby's pecker, or the one burning down her. That was in response to somebody else. INR says, we'll see. The big deal is the kids being separated are sometimes required to represent themselves in immigration court. Right. And that, again, that's why I'm torn on it, because it's like, any reasonable person wouldn't have a child try to defend themselves in court. So do you provide certain people with legal counsel in situations, or don't you? Like I say, it's.
But wait. We're talking about the kids being separated from their parents. They're not going to kick the kid out and let the parents stay.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, the kid might be representing himself in that court, but he's been separated from the family, and the family, what happens to them is going to determine what happens to that child. And Alyssa Milano, all her money wouldn't get a lawyer that's going to change that.
Yeah. Let's see. Devil Fruit Zero. Do you or the other Lords of the Night know how sponsorship for immigrants works? My uncle did it once for a friend, but I didn't ask about it. I always wonder why the left doesn't just do that. Well, that's a very good question. I don't know how it works either. Well,
there's more to it than just wanting to sponsor somebody. There's got to be a reason for sponsorship. Usually work.
Yeah. My coworker was sponsored by my employer for the time that he was in the process of getting everything ready to, really become a resident and citizen and bring his family over. So he had a work visa here for several years while he went through that process, and he was a necessary component of our work team. So that's how he did that. But if you just, it's not like sort of like boarding somebody at your house as a roommate for a temporary amount of time. There's a whole bunch of rigmarole for it, and you have to have some really good justification.
Right.
James Colley, thank you. I have the answer to resolve all discourse. 60s clouds of pot smoke.
Huh.
Yeah, if only. Well, Canada's going to give it a try here pretty quick, so.
Pat asked, did any of us see the tweet about the girl swinging on the guy in the bar? The one that beat the shit out of that dude? I saw that.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, man, she punches him in the face like 15 times.
Cryptic says, did I hear deportation?
Fucking Cryptic. We got to get him a nice job.
Message. Yeah, because one of the things, if you sponsor someone, you effectively take legal responsibility for them while they're here in the country as a guest, more or less. And so, it's strangely enough, it's more rigorous a process than being a foster parent. So, yeah. Devil Fruit Zero says, I guess I thought it was like you vouch for someone. Well, it is to a certain extent, but there has to be a lot more reason than just, I want to take this person in. There has to be something that person is going to be tied to you and the situation more so than just letting them stay at your house, because, it's an immigration issue.
Your boy Pat says she would have got the Antifa treatment from me if I was in that guy's shoes. I'd have knocked that bitch out. I'd have put her on her ass.
Let's see. RJ Bands, what's the most Canadian joke of all time? Justin Trudeau.
No, that's a Cuban joke.
Oh, wait. Speaking of that, did you guys see Justin Trudeau's response to the allegations?
No.
Yeah, well, he responded to it and basically said, like, his basic response to the whole allegation was, I remember that day, and I don't remember anything bad happening. And
so he enjoyed it, is what it was.
And they didn't ask him any more questions after that. Like, they was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Falcon Millennial, thank you. Answer to all discourse, 7.5 by 55 Swiss. Lots of it. Jesus.
Stargazer Nuts just tweeted at us, the dog who portrayed Duke in the Bush Baked Beans commercials has died.
Oh no.
Oh no, not Duke.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
First Pebbles, now Duke. I hope somebody didn't flush him down a toilet.
No, Duke had I bet you Duke had a long and spoiled life as a dog.
Oh, I bet he did. I bet he did.
For you Canadians out there, how about this? The best Canadian joke, Don Cherry. If you get that, you're a true Canadian. Not Duke, says your boy Pat. Yeah, roll that beautiful bean footage. That should be on his grave.
Yes.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I'm not even a dog person, and I'd have just hugged and played with Duke all day long.
Hey, Campbell says, who's going to give us the Bush's family recipe now? Oh, right.
Went to his grave with him.
Duke was the commensurate insider is the word I was looking for.
Yes, Lion Patriot. F for Duke, guys. F for Duke.
W.R. Carter says, good joke. Really? Okay. F for, yes. Everyone, F for Duke.
Data says Duke couldn't keep a secret, so they offed him.
Oh,
Jesus.
the dog that knew too much.
The Bush family finally, you know what? We can't trust this fucker. Oh, Yeller to his ass.
You've roped that beautiful bean footage for the last.
Let's see. Shiogara says, serious Shio time. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Pops had knee replacement surgery on Friday and is back to work on cars already, drugged out on Vicodin and Xanax. He's supposed to be in bed for a week minimum. Well, I hope
That's a
Dad
dad
heals up
thing,
quick.
man.
Yeah,
Tell him to lay his ass down.
my mother had knee replacement surgery, last year? And yeah, that was a long healing process. That is not an easy thing to do, especially as you get older. Obviously, it takes longer for that to all get straight again. So best of luck to your dad.
Tell your dad this, and I do wish him the best of luck. I have a friend who, in her 20s, had to have her knee replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And she was supposed to be on bed rest and didn't. She claimed she barely moved, but she ended up having to have that same knee replaced less than a year later. Take the time to rest, people. Somebody asked me, I think it was Ebony asked me how I cannot be a dog person. I find them to be way too needy. I like cats. I like a cat that wants love every now and then they'll slap you because you pet it too long. That's my favorite kind of animal.
Yeah, I'm a cat. I was raised by cats. I'm more a cat person. I've come to warm to dogs because a couple of my coworkers had dogs they bring to the office, and I got to know them really well, and so I got more used to dogs. But I've always been kind of a cat person.
We had a dog. I loved him. His mom was a purebred Saint Bernard. His dad was a purebred German Shepherd who got out of the yard. The babies came out in two forms. One looked like just a giant ball of fuzz, and the others looked like they kind of look like a golden retriever on steroids. And that's the kind that we ended up with. We named him Caesar. He was the most protective dog I've ever seen, and the biggest pussy I've ever seen. One day he was only like 3 months old, and he's sitting with me out on the porch, and the gas guy came up to check the meter, and he goes, "Can I pet him?" I said, "Don't." So he will fucking snap at you, and he goes, "Oh, he looks fine." And it's a good thing I had a leash on this dog because he was gonna fuck that guy up.
Oh Jesus!
But he also one day my daughter was walking him, and she was like maybe 8 at the time, and he started to run, and it pulled her down, and she started crying. And he came over and he laid her head on it. He looked so sad that he made her fall. It was the cutest thing. Sorry, guys. I like certain dogs.
Shugarath says, to be fair, he's only 52, so there's that, but he's already on his 5th or so heart attack. Jesus, dude.
Tell him to sit his ass down, not to need another fucking hip or another replacement. There's no.
Thank you, Cryptic. I love dogs and cats. Yum. And he can say that, guys, because Cryptic, so far as we know, is Asian.
That's actually one of my favorite parts of the vegan gains debate I had. Is when he's like, "Do you think people should be able to eat dog?" I'm like, "I don't care." Like, so you're okay with that? I don't care. Oh,
well, that took all the steam out of it.
How'd that feel?
he was prepping his hypocrisy argument.
As long as it's not my dog, I don't give a fuck if you eat it. As long as it doesn't belong to someone else, yeah, fucking eat a dog. I don't care.
Stargazer Nuts just said something that made me think of a joke. I had a border collie until ICE showed up. Stargazer says, we had border collies when the kids were small. The female was a mother hen to my babies. Aw. Yeah, so I've told this story before, but when I was brought home from the hospital just after being born, my parents put my, wriggly little self on the couch, and we had 2 cats, a Siamese and a black cat. And they noticed that there was something new in the house that wasn't there before. So they both get up from napping and they walk over to the couch and they put the little paws up on the edge of the couch and start sniffing at me. And they both jump up on the couch, circle around me, and then lay down around me yin yang style. And my parents took a photo of this.
Aww. And
so from the first day I was born, I was raised by cats. And those 2 cats became basically my brothers, like my family. They both lived to be 18 and 19 years respectively. Old cats. And after the Siamese passed away, And the black cat, I'm not using their names because they're very unique names, and I'm paranoid. Anyway, without somebody to give baths to, I'd wake up in the middle of the night with him licking my head and giving me a bath. And I had my hair cut really, really short back then, and so I ended up waking up every morning with like a raw spot on my head that was like it hurt, and I smelled like cat food, but I didn't care because I love my kitty.
Yeah, my daughter's one cat, Tiger. He used to do that. He didn't like me, but he didn't hate me either. And every now and then I'd be like laying on the couch and he'd jump up there and just start cleaning my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is with you? This cat, he loved me, but he hated me. This is how much. He jumped up into my chair to die.
Oh, geez.
He jumps up in my chair and I got up and I go to the bathroom and I come back and he's laying there. I'm like, Tigger?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding. And you did it in my chair, you dick.
Oh.
He was a sweetie though.
That's sad.
It was amazing. He would try to get, if my daughter wasn't in her room, he would run out of her room, meow at her, turn around and run back. And he would do this until she went into the room with him.
Devil Fruit Zero says, Scribe Light, did you get any cat powers being raised from the cats? Yes, I'm fully independent and a lazy pile of bones.
And he'll only talk to you if you're reading a newspaper.
I'll only talk when I'm reading a newspaper. Let's see. Claxton Byer says, I have a cat who loves cookies and another who loves lasagna. Is one named Garfield? Monkey, how's your Judge Jeff brings up your ghost. How's the ghost?
She's been good. She's been there's a little ball sitting on the bed that's in this room, and every so often it'll just start rolling around a little bit. So she's playing with the ball that's on the bed.
Let's see. Michael Hatfield says, my sciatic nerve has been killing me since Saturday night. Don't even know how I heard it. Unbelievable pain. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That can be.
I feel you. I feel you. Lay down.
Random American Scribe, do you ever have the urge to lay on your own keyboard? At work, I do. Often. Like.
Nut says it's the cat. It's not. No, that the ghost has been here before the cat died.
Okay. Do you have a name for your ghost yet?
No, I don't know her name. I don't want to misname her.
Are you sure it's a female?
I'm positive that's a woman.
You're gendering the ghost?
I am. I can feel it.
You can feel it. Okay.
I can feel the presence of women.
Thank you, Falcon Millennial. I had a long-haired tabby, Cinder. She would sleep on my dry suit even when wet.
The only cat that I ever had that was as needy as a dog was my Maine Coon, and he was horrible.
Yeah,
he was the neediest animal I've ever had, but he was my buddy. So when I first hurt my neck and had my surgery, we actually moved the bed out into the living room, so I didn't have to come all the way into bed when I got home. Because in that one, they took the piece of hip from me and put it into my neck, and so I was actually laid up where I couldn't move for like 6 weeks, and he laid there with me the whole time.
Oh.
He would jump down and eat and go to the bathroom, and he'd come back and just lay there and watch TV with me.
Arcadia Occult Curio Shop Autumn Storm HP says, an herbal treatment for sciatica is Devil's Claw root. You can get it in pills at your local pharmacy. That sounds, given the name and given the name of the herbal thingy, that sounds evil voodoo right there.
I would try, what's it called? Heroin.
No.
Kidding. Don't try heroin. Heroin's bad for you.
And Arcadia also wants me to be their love slave. Sorry, I'm on the opposite side of that equation. I pitch, I don't catch, as they say. Let's see. That's something else.
Sorry, I was laughing at Batty, who said he has Maine Coons and they're pain, or she says they have Maine Coons and they're pain in the ass. I feel you.
Let's see. Corey Suzuki says, our cat just had a compound fracture in her leg, so it was amputated. Oh,
that sucks. That's all right. They can do well on 3 legs.
You gonna call him tripod now? Ebony Williams says, Monkey, I don't know if I asked you this, but what is your fascination with midgets?
I don't know. It started just laughing at them, and I know that's wrong. It's true though. If you've never seen midgets run, you are missing out. Because they don't run like because people are they're little like children. They're not. They're like somebody just squished a person. So their arms, like, they go out to the side a little bit and they shimmy back. It is just the funniest goddamn thing. And somehow from that, I developed a love for female midgets. I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
Let's see, about the 5-minute warning, guys. So if you have any questions or comments or anything else, again, right after the stream over on 2 Cents Plus or within a 15-20 minutes thereafter, 7 Days to Die open server with Monkey and Satsu. Monkey has tweeted out the info on that. I'm sure it'll go out again before time comes. Also, tomorrow we will be having the show on 4th of July over on Monkey's channel per usual. If for any reason that changes or whatever, we'll definitely put it out on Twitter early enough.
Pat says they run like Mario. Not exactly, because Mario's arms go up still. It's that them down to the side. They almost look like a video game character, which makes them great.
Oh, also plugging on Sunday on Monkey's channel, barring something else coming up, Monkey and I will be doing movies you should have watched, Iron Eagle. With Louis Gossett Jr. and whatever the kid's name is, because I forget. Tabby! Oh, thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. We have a gray tabby, Prince. He loves to go outside, even though while out, he's lost a paw, an eye, part of his lip, and his tail in separate incidents. Jesus. And the little twerp still wants out. That cat is like the badass uncle in the family kind of thing. He's got all these war wounds and shit. Damn. And thank you, Falco Millennial. Keep going. Loads K31. Jesus.
Yeah, our cats aren't allowed to go outside because we live near too many woods and they end up with ticks. So our cats are always indoor.
You should check to see if your cat has a forest survival YouTube channel. One of our cats that we had after my original family cats, he went out all the time and got in these major screaming fights. You'd hear him. You ever hear cats fighting? They sound like weird, like banshee people. That thing. It's so creepy. Anyway, he would fight like a motherfucker with some other neighbor cats or something. Problem is, apparently from one of those fights and one of those cats or whatever he was fighting, he caught the cat version of AIDS, and that's what eventually caused him to die, which was
that sucks.
Not good. That's anyway. Check Your Logic says, Renting Monkey, does it count if you've seen the Munchkins run in The Wizard of Oz?
It's not the same. No, you got to see them run full speed, like playing. Somebody link the midgets racing the camel.
Or actually, there's plenty of footage of Wee Man from Jackass running around.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch midgets running around,
the midgets racing the camel though is fucking beautiful. It's beautiful.
If this application is FLV virus, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yes. Drayden says, one of my cats was born with a bone growth in his epidural space. It presses against his spinal cord and makes him wobbly when he runs, but he doesn't let it slow him down. Well,
good for him.
Kitty, but still, that sucks. Or FIV. Is that FIV? Feline immunodeficiency virus or something? Yeah. Or immunovirus, yeah.
We had a cat named Nuisance once. He came home with a hole in his hip where somebody had clawed him. He used to love to fight. But he usually won. I mean, the worst he'd come back with was maybe a little scratch on his face, and he had a little tear in his ear. But this thing ended up infected, and he almost died. He ended up in a vet for like 3 days.
Muslim one says, you haven't heard anything yet. My neighborhood stray cats fight the neighborhood raccoon family. Raccoons will fuck you up.
Yeah, they got them fucking claws.
Yeah, raccoons have claws. They are strong motherfuckers. Like, I remember one time there was a raccoon family that would come up on our deck, and my dad would like feed them bread and stuff. And our cat tried to go out on the deck one time, and my dad swooped in so quick to grab my cat and said, one of those raccoons doesn't like it. It doesn't matter how big or how tough your cat is, they will rip them apart.
Yeah, I don't have any like endearing cat stories because I hated the cat we had in my house when we were kids. He was a dick bag. He was bougie as fuck because you couldn't rub it; it would rub itself on you. Like you can't rub it; it'll rub you. And it used to say my name really eerily at night, and it was terrifying.
My father-in-law. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, real quick.
I said my father-in-law hated cats, and his wife got one. And it's become his baby. He treats it better than he ever did his children. It's funny.
Muslim one says, not this raccoon family. They're borderline retarded. They keep falling off our roof during the fight. And with that, guys, images of falling raccoons and such, we're going to bring the show to a close. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight, as you always do. You are the best audience on the internet as we know it. Thank you, everyone who donated. Your generosity always humbles me, and I appreciate that. Thanks, moderators, for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is well behaved, all things considered. Again, tomorrow night, Monkey's channel, per usual, and right after the stream, 2 cents plus for the open server 7 Days to Die. Otherwise, guys, Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me as always. And everyone else, your lives make us sad. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Later.
2 cents plus.
The secret word is Yankee Doodle.
Isn't that 2 words?